again. My second journey within the last, I guess, few days. Another beyond body. And it looks like I am definitely back out there, definitely having more and more experiences. This one was fairly brief, again, like the other one was. Perhaps those around me are just simply trying to get me out there again slowly, kind of perhaps dip my toe into the water and then, perhaps put my entire leg in and then just jump right in. Maybe, I'm not sure. But this was a very short trip, and I was actually a bit surprised because I was having just an okay evening. Actually, the evening was turning into one that wasn't all that great. And I didn't think I would do it. I didn't think it would happen. But those around me surprised me so much because even when I'm not having a great day, they'll take me out. And I suppose this was not an exception. I felt the movement, and I remember thinking in my mind and telling them, well, you're in control. I'm just kind of strapped in here, and I'm kind of letting you do the driving. I also remember focusing on something for a moment, but I wasn't sure what it was that I focused on, honestly. I do remember my arrival, and it was quite sudden. It's weird because this arrival, it was like I was just there. I was in a retail store of some sort, strangely enough. I was standing by what appeared to me to be like the kind of books that you would use for pictures, like an album of some sort. I was standing by, it was like I was in a stationery department. It did kind of remind me of a store like a Target or something that you would be in, and there were people shopping. I began following this young lady. She had blonde hair, and it was kind of curly but more wavy, short, maybe shoulder length or so. I was following behind her, and I recall that I was in the beginning calling to her, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, trying to get her attention. Now, she was not responding. She just kept walking. And I do believe that this young lady was with her family. So at one point, I caught up to her because she stopped and her family stopped. Now, again, I don't remember, or I should say that I don't remember much about her family. I should say that first. I just remember her. Her face was unremarkable to me. It just seemed average, normal, brown eyes. Nothing specific about her face that stands out to me. But I do remember that she seemed to be looking right through me because I stopped and I said, hello, can you hear me? Excuse me, can you hear me? Because I was again trying to get her attention. And apparently, she did not see me. She could not see me. And at one point, after I don't remember how many times I asked her or tried to get her attention in some way saying, excuse me, can you hear me? I felt what I considered to be a hand reach down and grab me by my lower thigh behind my leg, my lower thigh, and just yanked backwards. And when I felt this, I was back. I was back in my bed, and I opened my eyes and I began recording this. I have to tell you that after thinking about it, I and this is again a theory that I have, and I don't know that I've really talked much about frequencies and what people can see and what people can't see. But regardless of whether I have been out of body or I have been beyond body, there have been times when people can't see me. And with the beyond body thing, it's been very mysterious to me. With astral projection, I feel more like I'm a spirit being. So I'm floating around. So it is not surprising to me that people that are in the 3D world wouldn't be able to see me. They would not be conscious to my presence. That is not a surprising thing to me. In the beyond body, it is surprising to me because normally I am able to connect with beings in the beyond body. And well, I don't know what I look like. I have no idea what my body, quote, body looks like in the beyond body. However, I know that I'm able to talk to people usually. At times I am not. This was one of the times that I was unable to speak to someone. And my theory is that I was simply in a different frequency. So in other words, we're operating at a certain frequency in the 3D world. Spirit beings are at a different frequency, which means that we can't necessarily see them. This, I believe, also goes for different realities. Take a moment for a second. Look around you. If you're in an empty house, or if you're in your room alone, or if you're in a place alone, know that you probably aren't alone. That even though you can't see certain things, things exist. You could be laying in your bed alone at this very moment, or sitting up or watching TV, and there could be a city, a metropolis surrounding you. There could be all kinds of people that are there that you cannot see. And to me, that's interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about that, or to even consider it for a moment, that there is so much that we cannot see. And I believe that in this case, that is what happened. That I was simply at a different frequency. They were unable to see me. This young lady was, and probably everyone in that retail store possibly wasn't able to see me. And the only way someone would have been able to see me is if they were operating at the same frequency that I was. To me, it's an interesting thought. And funny enough, I was discussing this with my mother, and one of the things my mother told me, and something that I thought about, was she said, if you had just, instead of necessarily questioning someone or asking someone something like this, if you had just observed, I wonder what you would have seen. And it's true, I think one of the things I want to do, one of the goals I want to have, is to not be so, you know, curious. I can't help but being curious. I mean, I'm always going to be curious, and I'm always going to be trying to understand my environment. But the ability to be able to observe and just take in what I'm seeing, perhaps I will see more, and perhaps I'll be able to bring more back. And that would be very interesting for myself, and I would think for all of you. So, one of my goals is going to be just to take things in more. Yes, I will try to speak to people at times, but if someone doesn't answer me, I will assume they can't see me. And then I will go into this sort of attitude of just observing, just taking in what I'm seeing, and hopefully bringing back something very, very interesting. Anyway, This was a short experience, but it means I'm back out there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.